Hello everybody and welcome to another video of Starcraft, where I will attempt, as a very new and very terrible player at Starcraft 2 multiplayer, to improve my game, basically, by looking at some interesting replays, looking at how I do well in some aspects, how I do terribly in others, and yeah, just trying to improve at this game, which is quite fun. I've got to be honest, I'm enjoying it greatly. So here, let's just slow it down a bit so we can actually see what's going on. A small thing that I'm quite liking and remembering to do, more importantly, is once you've maxed out your first base in terms of drones, particularly once you've got your second base up, just send your drone kind of rally points to the minerals of your second base. And that way you can very quickly refill bases when you make a new one. And you will see that I do it later with my third base as well. As once you've got a couple of bases up, it's even better, because then you just like send both of those mineral rally points or worker rally points to that new base, and when you spawn all those drones, they just jump over there. And boom, you've got a third base with 16 drones working there, easy. So that's pretty cool. So what is cool about this game as well is that I go for a new style of play. This style being Ling, Bane, Muta, as opposed to Roach Ravager or Roach Hydra, which I've been using pretty much completely up until this point. And one thing I already like about this style is that the fact that your mid-game is very heavily dependent on zerglings, and through them banelings, you can set up a very powerful early game force that is very safe against any type of aggression just by making zerglings. And because zerglings will be the base of your mid game, it doesn't hurt your game plan at all, really. So that's pretty cool. So here you can see I'm just getting double gas, trying to keep up with my queen injects. I feel like my injects were pretty solid this game, so that's always nice. Here I go into Aspire. I haven't really taken advantage of my banelings properly. As you can see here, I've just got a bunch of zerglings sitting back and doing nothing. And that's not the best, as I probably could do some damage with them if I wanted to. So let's look at everyone's perspective and just hop down here. Yeah, he's got a very small force. If I just rolled, 4 fast zerglings up here, maybe they'd do some damage. Either way, it is probably worth trying, and so, yeah. Here he tries to do some harass with a warp prism, but I've got like all the spare queens, so that doesn't really work out. So yeah, everything is pretty solid at this point. My early game is just dead safe. I'm forgetting to put drones into the gas geysers, but oh well. Here we go, I finally remember. I stick those in. I've got my third base coming up. My first base is on lair tech, or at least is becoming lair tech, so that's quite cool. So yeah, everything is good. I've got Bane speed, I've got Ling speed, I've just built a spire so I can kind of go into Mutalisks. So yeah, I am quite happy with how this kind of first 6-7 minutes went. So here, his Observer. I really like his Observer play in this game, actually. Looking back at the replay, I noticed it a few times. He is just scouting about, seeing what I'm doing, trying to find my army. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Scouting is pretty important, I'm increasingly realizing. So here, as I said earlier, I set my rally point for my workers to the new base. Here as well, I believe. Yep. So when the drones hatch, they will pretty much just pour into your new base and basically jumpstart it. As opposed to just slowly building drones at your new expansion, with the expansion, making all the drones by itself. So here you go, they just hop on over there, and that's fantastic. So here, one thing I can say, I'm floating loads of minerals that I could be spending elsewhere. I could make a fourth base quite easily. I could make a macro hatchery on top of that quite easily. I could just make a ton of zerglings and overlords and probably just win the game outright. Yeah, probably the weakest part of my play this game is this spending. But regardless, I think there's a lot we can learn from this replay, so let's just plow on, shall we? I've got a pretty decent flock of Mutalisks, that's nice. Seeing that he is trying to make some aggressive play, I just kind of group my force up and make a show of strength. In terms of where you should place your army, whatever's your weakest expansion is probably the best bet. That's something that I'm starting to realise, that's always nice. He leaves some units here that I basically pick up for free, so that's pretty sweet. And here I probably could have played a lot more aggressively. Like, he's clearly not got the biggest of armies, and I've got quite a few Lings. If we just compare supply count, it's clearly in my favour, and sure, a lot of that is going to be like excess drones and stuff, but regardless, I probably could have played a whole lot more aggressively. And this is another part of my play this game which isn't so good. My Mutalisks, like this flock of, how many is it? 8, 16, 19 Mutalisks, could be doing a whole lot more than they currently are. I could swing in here, just, you know, poke at a unit, which I kind of do here, and I do get a few freebies here when I swing back in, which is always nice. But yeah, these Mutalisks could swing back around, they could take out some probes, they could take out pylons, give them supply block, maybe, if I'm lucky, snipe some tech, like Twilight Council, perhaps. Any of that would be a good use of my time, as I'm clearly not going to engage his force, as it is, probably bigger than mine, at least without all of these kind of joining the fray, and I do like having these at home, just for defensive purposes. So yeah, my Mutalisks could have been way more active this game, and I will try to remember to send them in places a bit more. But regardless, I think they were pretty good in this game. They could have been way more active, but at the same time, I didn't throw them away too horrifically, so yeah, that's pretty good. But let's get back onto the original kind of bad thing in my gameplay this game. I am floating currently 3,000 minerals. How I am doing this and not noticing, I don't know. I could have like 3 more expansions here and easily afford to kind of drone them all up. Sure, it would be quite bad for my army supply, but that would still boost my economy to ridiculous degrees. Yeah. So basically, spending is the name of the game. Spend, spend, spend. Make more units than your opponents, and most of the time you will just win through that, regardless of what units they are. Like, I could make an army entirely out of Lings and Banes, and probably just destroy his base completely, right now. I could afford to do that. I've got all the supply, I've got all the minerals, and maybe enough gas to make enough Banes to make it worthwhile. I could just end this game right now. But the game does drag on for like another 3 minutes, so yeah. But I think that kind of aggressive mindset, or at least the mindset that allows you to realise when you're way ahead, which I quite clearly am at the moment, will just come with experience. Like, if I attacked at any moment, clearly I would win, but I don't. So I'm giving him a chance to expand, I'm giving him a chance to build more units. I'm basically making this far riskier by playing defensively, oddly enough, than I would if I just went in and did damage. So here I'm sort of like building up for the push, making some less units, morphing in some Banelings, all very well and good. And yeah, very shortly I will be attacking straight in, so let's just switch to my perspective here. And another thing I will say that I like about Bane Ling Muta is that since you make so many extra queens, you get just fantastic creep spread as a result. Like, I've had no other game be this fantastic in terms of creep spread. And what's so important about creep spread is that you just get so much vision on the map. Like, all of this area here, I can see. If he tries to play any kind of aggressive kind of move, I will be able to see it, unless he goes all the way around here. Now, this is where... Now, we can have a direct comparison of good and bad creep spread here, quite usefully. On the right-hand side of the map, I've got pretty good creep spread, other than up here, which potentially could have been a problem. But on the left-hand side, we have only 2 creep tumors. And if my creep spread was much better on this left-hand side, I wouldn't have to worry about being attacked here. But since it's so bad, and it's only got to like just outside of my second natural expansion, this is just so much worse for vision. I could lose to someone attacking in. I mean, sure, I've got the rocks to kind of defend my natural expansion, but regardless, that's a risk that if I'd had better creep spread here, I wouldn't have to take. So yeah, the fact that you have so many queens is really cool in this build, but if you can't stay on top of your queens and your creep spread, then, you know, that's only so good. Like, I was on top of it on this side, but not this side, and that's something I can definitely improve on. So let's switch to my perspective. I'm just scouting out, seeing if he has any hidden bases. I kind of look a bit around here because I'm not quite familiar with the map, but then I'm like, hey, since I'm clearly on the aggressive, I might as well kind of knock down an additional route into his base. So I knock it down, his army kind of swings in a bit. I scout in again, I'm like, hey, might as well attack. And this is arguably another problem with my play. I maybe should have waited for the overcharge to dissipate. But, you know, I'm quite far ahead, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So here's something's quite cool. In a second, I pull back my Lings to allow the rest of my Banelings to kind of explode on what's left of this army. Now, that would have been much better if I'd done it earlier, admittedly. But regardless, the fact that I did that kind of micro management of the battle at all is quite impressive. So, hey ho. Improvement, boys. So yeah, I basically stomp his army. His natural expansion is going to die, and if we switch to everyone's perspective, he does have a third base hidden away in the corner here. Quite good placement, to be honest, as this is like one of the last places I would think to look. But yeah, I've just got so many Mutalisks, and I can just churn out endless waves of Zerglings, which I should be doing anyway. But yeah, I win the game. But in terms of a highlight of how you can mess up with the Muta Bane Ling kind of style, I think this is a pretty good replay. My macro was pretty solid, I feel. At least up until kind of the halfway mark, where I just am unable to spend all of my minerals. But other than that, my macro could have been way better, my Mutalisks could have done way more damage than they did, and also if I played more aggressively, I could have probably ended the game a whole 4-5 minutes earlier. But yeah, there we go, that's the end of that game. Yeah, on to more ladder, I think. So thank you for watching, as always. If you found this interesting, leave a like. If you want to leave some pointers or advice, I would really appreciate that. Drop a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next Start of Starcraft video. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta.